Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our special year-end edition about 36 stratagems. Hold on, I have some difficulty here of sharing screen. Okay, now we're good, right? Okay, last time we talked about 隔岸观火, which is about when your enemy is going into chaos, don't move just yet. Watch. Because 36 stratagem, if you know it, your enemy probably know it too. So when you see your enemy showing some movement, it could be real or fake. It could be one of the things they are playing, so you simply couldn't tell. So the best move at that moment when they seems to go into chaos is to watch before you take a move. So that's last time. So today we talk about the 树上开花. This one is not commonly used in contemporary Chinese, like one we quote just randomly in our daily life to talk about something. We seldom quote this phrase from 36 stratagem. There are other ones that we use a lot more. But 树上开花, actually, if I don't do this program, I would not know about this. Okay, so this is using, again, symbolism of plants to explain phenomena. Okay, 树上开花, 树 is our tree. It came from this tree symbol that we have seen many, many times, that we have this top portion upward turning curve. That's our canopy. And then the bottom have this arch, like tall arch, to show there's a space between the canopy and the ground. So simply emphasizing the trunk portion, like there's no branches over there, just a big trunk. So that's our tree symbol. And then the right side actually is about planting a tree, planting. So we have the right, this is our 3-finger hand symbol, and somebody say this signifies this is a right hand because it's showing from that direction. This is the left hand, this is right hand. Okay, so right hand and with a pointer toward here. So we know this is our our inch symbol because we use 1 inch down the wrist to measure pulse. And that, like everybody in Chinese used to know, to go to doctors and get checked, and that's where the people, I mean the doctors, will touch exactly over there. So that's a common life experience, and people use that as inch symbol. And so here we have this inch symbol, and then the middle we have, again, you see the plant. Even we don't have the trunk signified there, right? So this is just a generic plant symbol. It could be a tree or bush or shrub, whatever living growing things from the ground. So this just that. And then we have this, some scholars say that this is a drum, like a standing, like, okay, this is the surface of the drum. This is the stand of the drum. So the drum here means something is standing there. It has nothing to do, okay, because when language creators use a symbol in the word creation, the symbol itself has multiple attributes, right? So here it could mean something related to drum, to music, or it could mean the status of this thing or the look of this thing. So this drum set right now standing there like a prop, right, with 2 legs. I mean, this is 2D, so it could be multiple legs, at least 3 legs, right, to make it stable, standing there. So that standing is the symbol the language creator is extracting from this drum set look. Standing, something plant related, and an inch. Inch here, my understanding is because when you plant a living thing to the ground, there are rules, there are depth measurement. You have to be exact how low you plant the seed below the surface of the ground. So how deep into the soil the seed was planted. So that there are things to follow, rules, right? Measurements to take. So this kind of depicting the major steps or considerations when planting a tree. This plus the tree symbol is planting the tree. So the right side actually is planting, the action of planting and a tree. It's a little bit duplicate, right? Because if you plant something, it gotta be some plant, right? It doesn't have to be a tree. It could be something else, a plant. But here, I guess it's make it obvious it's planting a tree, not a crop. Okay, so enough of tree there. And here we have this shan. Shan is our symbol for something on top of. And okay, here's a difference between English and Chinese. When Chinese say 树上, we're talking about the subject, it's 树. And the positioning of this thing we're going to talk about is on the surface of the tree. So you see in English, we will say on the surface of the tree. The tree is behind on the surface of. So whatever descriptor of the tree goes in front of the tree. Whereas in Chinese, we have tree first, like what are you talking about first? And then the location or other attributes attached to the tree goes after it, especially the positioning. So we would have 树上. We don't say 上 of 树, because that would require 上 of 树, right? That's extra information. We just go directly 树上. That means on top of the tree. And I mean, English, I have to find a fancy word thereon. So in English, there is such an expression of referring to something before this character. That means we're talking about on top of the tree, right? But the positioning of this word is after the tree. So we have to back referral, like they're on, whatever is in front of that. And shang, we talked about before. You see the contemporary Chinese and the traditional one, a little bit different. We have this extra line added. That's because, well, I don't know exactly what language creator was thinking, but there is this simplification process of making characters simpler. Like here, right? This is complicated. Writing in contemporary Chinese, much simpler. Versus complication step. Like originally, it's just horizontal, like vertical. How more simple can you be more than that, right? I mean, if you remove anything, it will be different, right? But that's language from the starting point. That's enough to show, to indicate, okay, so this is the benchmark or the baseline, and then we have something on top of it. So this is simply marking the location that's on top what we're talking about, versus we have 下, we have the opposite of at the below something. That means we have a benchmark here, and then we have this indicator pointing downward. So it's anywhere below this. So in the complication process, we add something extra because this is kind of like, upside down T, right? This could cause trouble in recognizing what this character is because it's too simple. Some accidental, stroke or drops on this could obscure what it is really about. So adding something to it to make it even more distinguished in, visually could help further define this character just visually. So over here, add one more indicator over there means, I mean, right now it's horizontal. Before, like some other writings, it could be pointing upwards. It means the trend wise, it's going upward as well. So not only is the state of above something. It could also be the momentum going toward upward. Could be both ways. So contemporary is have this twofold meaning into this one character. So there we go, complication process. And kai, we talk about bloom flower, kai hua. Okay, bloom is a translation or extension of this word. Originally, it means open. It simply came from this door opening action. And you can see clearly, this is our door frame. And actually, this is a symmetrical 2-panel door. And in the middle, we see, we have right hand and left hand, right? Apparently, in ancient time, an open door is not a one-hand motion. You have to use both hands to open the door. And then there's this latch. So something latch removal, and then the door can be open. So this latch removal, door opening, the full information about what we are doing here, who is doing there, and what's involved in there, all contained in this one frame. And that from door opening, this open action extended into flower, open the petals, and that becomes our bloom. So we use the same door open and flower open, the same open. In this context, of course, it would be appropriately translated as bloom. So tree, there are upon, means on top of the tree, there we see blooming flowers. Okay, flowers is this simplification process, right? Originally, we have this plant-based symbol twice. We often use it twice because when plants grow on the ground, it's not just single one piece. It's a clan or a cluster of plants grow together. So we just use two to mean multiple of them. And then it's a little bit difficult to explain what that is. It could be layers of petals to show, some folding structures over there. And then here, the bottom, I know that originally the symbol was used to mean breathing. So this is an air coming out of you with some obstructions, and then finally going out of your sound-making chamber, your mouth, inside the mouth, right? So this means breath going out. And here, this image could be used on flower to mean, the structure, the organs of the flower to have this, I don't know that term of that, but the flower portion that can take the pollen to eventually grow into a fruit, right? So all that reproductive organ of flower, it could be that. So we got there upon trees that flowers are blooming. You can see the sequence of 树上开花 in Chinese, and the way English would process images would be different, placed by the words, right? So we have 树上开花. We can also say 花开, right? 树上花开 also makes sense. But 树上开花, we put the subject of blooming after the verb occasionally. I don't see that often in contemporary Chinese using, but since this is a set phrase, it has always been said this way. So 树上开花, we have. It also kind of makes sense. Okay, we now visualize on top of the tree blooms the flower. And okay, in the context of this military maneuver, what does that mean? This means when you know the force, like the head count maybe, or the armory equipment, however, metrics are comparing your force, like your total sum of ability to strike, right, is smaller. If you know you're smaller, you're weaker, you're smaller than your enemy, most likely, this is one strategy. It totally depends on what other conditions, if they are mature, right? Depends on this is A, B, C, D. And if this is the condition, so when you're smaller is one of the conditions, right? And then you could do what? You could make it, you can fake the flowering, the blooming on the tree, meaning you can display your power more than what you really are. So you basically try to look bigger, look stronger in front of your opponent, so that your opponent are not prone or tempted to attack you anytime soon. So they have to try to first figure out what's your real size or real firearm or army size or whatever. But when you know that you're weaker than them and you need to win some time or to be not as vulnerable, the strategy is to appear bigger, to fake your strength. Interesting, right? Because in other strategies, we talk a lot about not to expose your power. Try to hide as much as possible and observe your enemy. But over here, it's the reverse. Instead of trying to appear small to attract your enemy to attack you, here is to appear bigger than what you really are and to prevent being attacked at the moment. Maybe you're waiting for your support, or you have other moves, other strategies behind this. So it's a combined strategy. So one of them is to show bigger at this moment. You cannot. Okay, so in the picture here, I actually show, because 树上开花 actually came from this. 树is this particular Japanese sago palm. In Chinese, we call it iron tree, because this tree take a lot of iron, absorb a lot of ions from the soil. And you can see the leaves are pretty stiff as well. I'm not sure it's related to the iron, but this is the type of tree that doesn't bloom that often at all. According to scholars, this is once a decade event. When you plant this tree, it stay evergreen for 10 years without even show a flower. So I guess trees have their different reasons, the seasons or lifespans, or maturity progress. But this is a female flower, male flower, and they only bloom very rarely. So 树上开花, this 树 actually was originally referring to that. So it almost means like bring out your best, your strongest look, even if you're not any near blooming. You bloom, you kind of like a peacock. You show bigger size than what you are. You display for your enemy to intentionally confuse them so that they don't attack you at the moment. Right, cashing into the currency of thinking about one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.